So let's talk about dynamic pricing. What is it? How does it work? And is it even going to help my business? Now, normally at this point, I'd throw you right into my intro video, but I think that this topic is really, really important. So instead of doing that, if you could just quickly hit the like button for me for the YouTube algorithm, and if you're interested, feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're notified as soon as new content comes out. All right, so let's answer that first question. Dynamic pricing, what is it? So dynamic pricing is a software that basically looks at a bunch of different factors to calculate the optimal price every single day that your VRBO or Airbnb is open. And that price suggestion can actually be automatically uploaded to VRBO or Airbnb so that you don't even have to review those prices. So let's get to question number 2. How does it work? Now, the price optimization calculation within all of these softwares first starts at a market level. So we're looking at what are the similar houses, condos, or cabins close to your listing. So for example, I might have a cabin in Blue Ridge in the Smoky Mountains of Georgia.
Nice.
And that cabin might have 10 other cabins that are similar to it in size, the number of bathrooms and bedrooms, amenities, historical pricing, and right now we're also going to add on to all of that historical pricing and occupancy, the different seasonalities that are going on. And when I talk about seasonalities, that's really what time of the year are we talking about? Are we talking about, a holiday period? Or are we talking, kind of a Wednesday through Friday on a normal week of the year? Of course, there's going to be different demand for each one of those time periods, so we want to charge our guests accordingly. So if somebody's looking to book 6 months from now, and usually when somebody is booking something that far in advance, we want to charge them a little bit higher price because they're more likely to cancel because there's more time for them to actually go through a cancellation period. The hope of this software is to not only look at prices every single day and change those based on different market demands and seasonality and all of that jazz, but also to make sure that you can get as much profitable days as possible. So how does this work in real life? Well, maybe at my cabin in Blue Ridge, I might be charging $100 a night, but the software might look at all of the different bookings that have been made and notice that all of my competitors are actually charging $125 per night. So if I want to keep in line with the market, it makes sense for me to increase my price. Now this works both ways. You can also decrease your price because maybe you're charging a premium for your place, but the actual market is demanding much less. So there's kind of that going up and down of prices depending on all of those different factors. But does it really work? So in my experience, the short answer is yes, but the long answer is a little bit more complicated. When I initially started my Airbnb journey, I was charging $119 per night because that's what the previous owner was charging every single night for all of their guests. Now, this was still profitable for me and I was able to pay my mortgage and make sure that I got a great profit, but I felt like I could still charge guests more, but I wasn't necessarily sure how I could do that. And one of the reasons that I realized I could charge guests more was because on one random weekend, I decided to bump up my weekend prices to $129 per night. And within just a couple of days, somebody booked, meaning that I actually made $20 more without really doing anything except for charging higher prices. And when I realized this, I started randomly testing all of my different nights. I started to increase and decrease my prices to see how the market would react. And sometimes I would increase my weekend prices to $169 or $179, depending on the weekend, and I would still get reservations. But this would be something that I would be updating every single day, just kind of doing all of these tests and keeping a big old chart of what dates had what prices when. And it became really overwhelming because I knew that there was a way that I should be able to optimize these prices, but doing it manually just wasn't cutting it. So enter dynamic pricing, and things have never been easier. And to be honest, this has been a complete game changer to my business. Number one, it's given me time back to actually focus on improving my business rather than running my business. And secondly, and I would say most important, is it has made my business much more profitable. Now, it's been about a month since I've started using this software, and I rarely have any bookings that are booking at $119 anymore. So if you remember in my first video that I'll link up here, the first month of me making money on Airbnb without paying a mortgage, I was making around $2,000 in total profit. Now in December, January, and February, I hope to be making about that amount of money while still paying down my mortgage, meaning that I'm adding $1,200 of pure profit back into my business just by adding a more optimized pricing software to my daily operations. So what software do I use? I use PriceLabs. Now PriceLabs' basic package starts with a free month trial. So if you're looking to do a free month trial and just test it out, I highly encourage you to do so. You can find the link in my description. If you'd like me to talk through the reason why I ultimately went with PriceLabs rather than Beyond Pricing, I'd love to do a video about it. Let me know in the comments. So in conclusion, I definitely recommend looking into price optimization or dynamic pricing software. This software has totally changed my business, like I mentioned, but honestly, it has given me so much time back. And if you're interested in any of the other software that I use to find deals or make sure that my Airbnb is performing as optimally as possible, feel free to look in my description below. On top of that, if you think you're ready to jump into the Airbnb game, feel free to sign up using my link in the description as well. When you do that and you host your first stay, you're gonna get $40 back. So that's it for today's episode. Again, I highly recommend that you look into pricing software. And if you like this video, feel free to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and here's another video that I think you might like. A surprise.